What's going on, guys? So this video we're going to be setting up Aru in this brand new enclosure that I got for her today. You guys, I don't think you guys know that I sex Aru and Biak. So Aru turns out to be a female and Biak is a male. So that's pretty good that it came out to be male and female. And if you guys haven't checked out the video where I set up this mango snake, make sure you do that. Check out the unboxing too. Those videos were great, especially the unboxing. So yeah, I'm going to put on my hoodie because I'm a little cold. Alright, there we go. Shadows Reptiles hoodie. Make sure you guys check out the merch. Links is going to be in the description. You can check it out at shadowsreptiles.com. Alright, first thing I want to do, just like I did for the mangrove snake enclosure, set up the bottom layer, which is the drainage layer, so that when all the water from the mistings doesn't stick in the substrate. So that's pretty much what I want, because I don't want it to be swampy in here. Alright, so now even this out. And now to add the liner so that the substrate does not fall into the drainage layer. Alright, so I put some pond sealant around the edge just so that the substrate stays on top of the liner, just to be a little extra safe. A lot of people don't do that though. Alright, the substrate that I'm going to be using is organic peat moss. You can see it right there. My camera's on a tripod, so I don't want to take it off just to show you that. But that's the substrate that I'm going to use for Aru's enclosure. Alright, and this is Aru's old enclosure. As you can see, it's a little bit wider, but it's much smaller. And these guys prefer vertical space instead of horizontal, so I might be using these, but probably not. So let's see. The one that I'm definitely going to be using is the wooden one, because he loves the wood. So there's his favorite perch right there, and there's Gracie in the back licking her paws. But yeah, I'm going to take this guy off and put this piece of wood inside the terrarium. Alright, so now I just need to figure out how I want to set this up here. So he might be able to do a hang there and maybe up here, but I don't think he'll like this part too much. This used to be his favorite part. I don't even know if the camera's picking that up, but yeah, this used to be his favorite perch, but this way it's not going to work out that way. So this would probably be one of his favorites, and I'm going to add PVC pipe on the top as well. So I'm going to put some pond liner here just so that this holds a little bit better and it doesn't move and doesn't fall on top of Aru. So this pond sealant isn't really, this pond sealant, by the way, not pond liner, I don't know why I keep saying that, but it's not working very well. I guess it got stuck from the last build, but whatever, that's gonna work just fine there. It's gonna work perfectly. Now I'm gonna make some nice custom perches out of PVC, and I just gotta cut it to about the right size. So I'm gonna say about right here. So this is about the size that I want right here. Perfect. I'm thinking of putting one right here. Yeah, there's gonna be one here and then a lower one about here. And he could decide whichever he likes best. So now I'm gonna show you guys how I made the custom perch. It's pretty simple, but as you can see here for the mangrove snake, I made one right there. And it came out pretty nice. Doesn't look too bad, but that's PVC just covered in some pond sealant and some peat moss. Alright, so all I'm going to do now is just get some of this pond sealant, and this comes out super slow because the tube that it flows through is all sealed up from the last time we used it. So this is just what you want to do, just cover it up. And you definitely want to use gloves for this, because this stays on your hands for days if you keep it. Learned that the hard way last time. I still have it from the last video that I used. I have it on my fingernails still, because it comes off the skin after a couple of days, but my fingernails hasn't even gone down a little bit. The ends don't matter too much because it's going to be blocked off by the rest of the foam when you're going to put it on the actual enclosure. Alright, so now all you want to do is just spread the peat moss over it. And there we go. It's a custom perch. I'm going to just let it sit here for a bit. And while we are setting up the enclosure, Aru's over here working out, getting swole. So yeah, she's going to be pretty ripped, getting ready to be able to climb those big perches on her new enclosure. Alright, so now to set this up where it's going to be. Now let's see, because this has a little trouble sticking to the glass. So I'm going to have to put a lot of this. Alright, so now all I'm doing is just putting a little bit of peat moss over the foam so that it looks a little bit nicer. This is just for decoration. I just don't like how the foam looks compared to the perches and the wood. So all I'm doing is just rubbing a little bit of pond sealant over the dry pond sealant, making it sticky so that I could put the peat moss over it. The one back there I am going to leave though, because that looks just like the background, so there's no need for it. So there we go. Alright, so the enclosure is not completely done, but I'm going to put Aru in already, just so that he could get a little warmed up, because he was just sitting in the garage waiting for me to finish. Look how long he's gotten, or she's gotten. It's getting huge. So I'll just set her up, hopefully she likes it. All I'm missing now, I'm just going to add some fake plants to help with the humidity a bit. And I might add real plants to this enclosure in the future. I'm not too sure yet. I'm probably going to wait to see how the mangrove snakes enclosure does, because you can see I put real plants in there, but I don't know how that's going to work out. So depending how that does, I'll add fake plants to this enclosure as well. And this isn't completely dried yet, so I got to make sure she doesn't push on it yet. Now I'm trying to figure out where I should put this. I'm thinking probably not right under the light, so maybe on this side like that. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So just like that. It's light. And it'll be able to spread out like that. So I think that looks pretty good. And this helps keep in the humidity, so that's a very good thing about these fake plants. Just like real plants, they'll hold the water inside and will keep it more humid. I have another one here that I'll probably put like this. And this one, I'm gonna put it in the lower part. So maybe right here. I'll put it up here. So something like that would look nice. So there we have it, Aru's new enclosure. Looks pretty nice. I still haven't added his water bowl, and actually I have a little bit more plants that I'm gonna put in, and the isopods. There's already a couple that are in here that were on top of the piece of wood, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna like this enclosure, or she's gonna like this enclosure. I keep calling him a he, but I'm sure she's gonna love the enclosure. For the old enclosure under the water bowl, that's where all the isopods are. I'm probably gonna take out some of these isopods and put it in there. If not, I'll just get some fresh ones and make a new colony out of these. There's Aru. She's enjoying the new enclosure. She's a little spooked. Obviously a lot of movement. None of the other snakes have woken up, and their lights were set to turn off about an hour, maybe 2 ago, but I'm sure since I turned them back on, they're still keeping it up. I'm going to be changing the time of the lights, because you can see here I have it to turn off at 8 p.m. Or yeah, to turn off at 8. I think I'm gonna do it for like 5 or 6, just so that the snakes are more active earlier on, so that the snakes become active earlier on. That way I get to see them being more active throughout the day. Alright, so there we go. All the isopods are in and the enclosure is looking great. All I'm gonna do now is add some water to her water bowl and hydrate the enclosure, mist it down a bit so that Aru has some moisture in there. Alright, so now to mist out the enclosure for Aru, make sure that all the isopods have some moisture in there so that they could survive and so that they could thrive. I'm gonna fill up her water bowl as well. Alright, there we go. The enclosure looks great. Now to seal it off. And this enclosure is much better than the other one because it holds humidity a lot better as well. That's something that I've been struggling with Aru's enclosure, ever since I brought her inside. I used to keep her outdoors in one of those, in that enclosure actually, and she did great. All her sheds came off really easily, but after I put her inside of this enclosure, she's been struggling with shed only once, maybe twice. Then I put her in the incubator, the whole shed came off, and after that I've been misting her a lot more. And I put this plastic on top of the cage so that the humidity didn't get out as much. But it was definitely a lot harder to keep it humid. This enclosure is much better. With Beak, I haven't had any issues with the with the drainage layer. I could fill it up with more water, and the water from the drainage layer would actually seep up when it gets too hot inside the enclosure, and it will be kind of like an incubator in there where it all stays the same temperature and the water goes up and the humidity stays nice and high as well. And you can see that on the edge the humidity is, because I mist them down with some warm water, not really hot, but it is warm so that when it touches them they don't get cold. Especially that the lights are about to go off. I'm gonna leave them on for about 10, maybe 20 more minutes, and then I'll turn it off so that they could all wake up, I guess, with the lights off. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. So there we go. As you can see, this enclosure is already working perfectly how I wanted it. He's going through shed right now. The skin did get stuck on there, but I'm gonna just let him be. And all the snakes are already active since it's night. And oh my god, this guy's just looking straight at me. Kind of scared me for a second there. But this guy actually has a mouse in here. Let me see. Oh, the mouse is up there. This guy, since he was wild caught, he doesn't eat frozen thawed. So hopefully at least he eats this mouse, because I want to see if he's gonna eat or not with me. Like I said, these guys are a little hard to feed sometimes. So hopefully he does well. But yeah, Ari's going through shed, looking great. And I just love watching these guys. They're so cool. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the video. I finished it, turned off the lights, and as you can see, this guy's doing the same thing he was doing last night. And this guy's just doing the same thing he was doing last night. He must think he's a cobra or something. He's always just standing there looking out. The lights were off. I just came in here now to show these off. Ari went through shed perfectly, as you can see. No stuck shed this time. But thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like, leave a comment, and have a great day.